Imagine years after your birth, you sat down at the table with your family and they began to tell you a story that you'd never heard before. You thought you pretty much knew all the stories that your family told, but this one was unique. They started telling you of a person who told about your birth years before you were born. But actually, it wasn't just one person that did it. There were many. And they not only told about your birth, but they told about the people who would be involved with your birth. They told about events that no one could possibly know until after you were born. And on top of that, they even told things that would happen in your life and how you would live your life as an adult. It would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Did you know that that's exactly what happened with Jesus? That hundreds of years before he was born, people were already telling about his birth. It's pretty amazing when you consider that this is part of the Christmas story. Now, we heard today that this was part of God's plan. Certainly that is the case. It was all part of God's plan. Had it not been part of God's plan, no one could possibly have known that which was told beforehand about Jesus' birth. No one. And yet, they did. I hope you will join us next week as we get to part 2 of our series, The Christmas Story. And we talk about some of the foretellings, those that were told beforehand about the coming of Christ, those things that would happen in his birth, and maybe even talk a little bit about the things that would happen after. Please join us, don't miss it, for The Christmas Story, Part 2.